Hey everybody, coming at you live from my backyard. Now, one of the questions that I've been asked the most over my 11 years on YouTube is, how do I find bushcraft spots? How do I find a place to bushcraft where nobody will mess with me? Well, you can either hike there, which limits your opportunities, or you can bicycle there. And I've experimented in the past with 2 bicycles. But I have kind of discovered that some of the most secret hidey holes where you can get out there and you can do things and not be messed with is sometimes in the wetlands and the swamps. And a lot of times if you look on the tax maps, sometimes some of these wetlands that are off of rivers, you can look at the tax maps and whoever pays taxes on a certain piece of property, they own it. But there's certain areas that are floodlands, and when they're not flooded, you can go in and bushcraft. And nobody pays taxes on them because they're just a part of the river system. So today I'm going to talk about some of the options that I've learned about it, and I'm going to show an all brand new option that I got my birthday, because this video is being uploaded August 20th and my birthday is August 20th. I turned 54, yay. I'm becoming an old dude. So I got a very, very cool birthday present, and that's what I'm going to show you after I show some of these other things and talk about them. Now, if you'll see over my shoulder there, that's a John boat. That is a 1964 Polar Craft aluminum John boat. Now, that's great if you're near the truck and you're going to drag it somewheres and throw it into a lake or a river or float downstream. But as far as going back upstream or dragging it around over islands and things, you can forget it. But that's a good heavy duty option, and when you get there you can turn it upside down like that and you can sleep under it. Alright, so I haven't used that in years, and you can't do that solo, you have to bring a friend. Alright, it's just too heavy. I think that's a 14 foot. So let's move on to some of the other options over here, starting with my hard shell kayak. Now, this is my hard shell kayak. Okay, you can bump into rocks, you can drag it over things, and it'll stand up perfectly fine. Now, this is about, I think mine's a 10 foot, and it weighs close to 50 pounds. So that's pretty heavy when you go dragging it over things from island to island, and like through wetlands and swamps and things. It's very, very heavy duty, but the cargo area is limited. You've got this little compartment here, and then it's got a bigger compartment in the back there. And then of course it's got the area where you sit, and you can cram gear up under it inside here, and in the back you can open that thing up and cram gear in it. But that's pretty heavy right there as far as dragging it around. Now see, on the back of this back here, there's some bungee cords right here where you can strap a little bit of gear here, and I've added these little rubber grommet things on the back here to where you can put bungee cords on them and strap things over this. And then it's got this waterproof compartment right here where you can put things in there. That way if you get turned over, you're good to go. Okay, so that's my hard shell kayak right there. This is the inflatable Intex Explorer K2. It's supposed to be a 2-person kayak. Okay, now as far as backpacking this thing in, you can't do it. It's like 30 pounds. It's a very, very heavy outfit. Now, this thing, Intex makes pretty good products, but recently I saw a review where one of the seams split. And this thing's got 3 main chambers. It's got a chamber in the bottom and 2 on the side. And it split on a person out in the lake. So I don't really trust this one as much. And I don't trust it for dragging over rocks. And I was going to actually sew up a big heavy duty cover for it. But once I heard about that split, I'm kind of nervous about this thing. And this thing, it sells, it's almost 10 feet long, and it sells for between $150 to $200. So, and it holds up 300 pounds, and it's meant for 2 people. See, it's got some kind of a thing there made on the front for strengthening it. Then when you come down through there, there's supposed to be a seat mounted right there where that Velcro is going up to them straps. You can see where that one is. So that thing, it's meant for 2 people, and if you want to go solo, you have to you really need to be like right there in the middle. Or you could just get on your knees and paddle it, kind of like you would Canoe. But I was going to make a cover for this thing to help protect the bottom. It's very heavy duty, but I just wouldn't trust it out in the middle of nowhere up against rocks. But once I heard about that split, I don't think I'm going to do that. So let's look at the other option. And I made a video about 2 videos back on this, is to use a raft or what's called a pack raft. What's the difference between the two? If it's light enough that you can put it in your backpack on your backpack, it's a pack raft. Now this thing here is only 7 pounds. It's light enough that you can carry with it, but the main body of it doesn't have a Boston valve, the big valve. It's got the little bitty one, so it takes about 30 minutes to pump this thing up with the little bellows type pump. But if you got the larger pump, you can pump it up in about 15 to 20 minutes. But you know, who's going to want to pack that in? Now, this thing floats. It'll float down river great. It'll get you across a lake great. If you come to a creek, you can go across it and keep all your gear dry. But as far as dragging it over islands and actual navigating and getting it to track, it leaves much to be desired. And like I said, if you're going to be sneaking off out in the middle of nowhere, you know, what's to protect you from this seam splitting or even this bottom getting a tear in it? So that's where the final option comes in. Oh, and one other thing I want to say about oars real quick. This pack raft, in the last video, I had these smaller oars because you can see the ones that came with them. See, they even though they break down like this, you can still see there's a lot of length there to try to backpack in. Now, this thing here, let's see if I can get this screwed together. There you go. So that's once screwed together, that's pretty good right there now. These are oar locks. When you have a rubber ring on a single shaft like this, it's an oar lock. Okay. Now, I failed to mention that in that one video, and everybody I got about, I don't know, 200 comments on, "Are you an idiot? Those are oar locks." Well, let me clarify something. Let's take a peek right here a minute. Because I'm more used to kayaking and stuff. And see, whenever you have a double paddle like this, and it has rubber rings on each end, that's a drip ring, so that the water doesn't drip back on you, because there's no way of using it as an oar lock. If you have single paddles, like the kind you would use for a raft or whatever, then the little rubber rings become oar locks. Now this ain't much of an oar lock right here. These are Sevylor paddles. They're very, very heavy duty. I use them for wading with an inner tube. But these are so much bigger. These really are good oar locks, because the eyelets on this pack raft are super, super thick. So anyway, that kind of I hope that kind of clears up a little bit of confusion on that right there. Because like I say, if it's just a single paddle like this, then that right there is intentions. It's intended to be an oar lock or a drip ring. Dual paddle, its only intention is a drip ring. Alright? And then of course the traditional paddle has a T on top where you can put your hand this way. That way you can turn the paddle one way or another. A raft paddle just has a round shaft. So, now, let's get to the exciting part of the video after I've kind of gone over what my options used to be. Alrighty, this here is the star of the show. It's I think it's pronounced Sevylor, and that is owned by Coleman. But Sevylor Hunt and Fish Rio Canoe, one person. Isn't that awesome? Now this thing, not only has it got a cool olive drab looking color, but this thing has got a cover built onto it for abrasion resistance to help you when you're dragging it over rocks and things, so that you won't puncture it as easily. And this one holds up 350 pounds. Now if I remember, I think I quoted wrong on that other one. I think that Intex 2-person will hold up 350 pounds. And this is just a little bit shorter than the Intex. But this is a beast right here. It weighs 25 pounds. And so this thing I'll be able to drag from island to island and wherever I need to put it. So I haven't even opened it up yet. I'm so excited about this. Like I said, I was in the Coleman store. Oh, and a little bit on that. The Coleman Camping Company, for those of you that have been to their factory outlets, the guy told me, I went in and it said store closing, 30% off everything. And so the fact that it was 30% off everything, I asked the guy, I said, is just this store closing or is the other one closing? I was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and there's another one in Sevierville, Tennessee, and he said they're all closing, every single one of them. And I said, really? And he said, yes. He said, there will be no more Coleman outlets. He said, they're all going to close. He said, they're all going to be on online sales only. And so that was kind of depressing because, you know, everybody likes shopping online, but sometimes it's better just to put your hands on something in person and put your eyes on something and look at it. So, anyway, I was very excited about this. I got it for my 54th birthday. Happy birthday to me. Let me show you something here real quick. If I can get in right here on this. Let's see right here. Right there on that sticker. $429 Coleman outlet. Okay, you go down here and there's another one, $429. Look at that, clearance, $299.98. all right, now remember that at 30% off, I wound up getting this. It was either $220 or $230, I can't remember. I'm not good with math. But I wanted it and I had to have it, and this thing looks perfect. I don't have to make a cover now for anything. This is just awesome. So let's open it up. And I got some cardboard over here on my boat, and I'm just going to roll it out and blow it up over there on the boat. And then later we're going to take it out on the water and try it. They've got it packaged in a bag. Comes in a neat bag like this. I got it laid on some cardboard. Let's open this up and see what it looks like. Wow! This thing's killer. This thing's super heavy duty. It's got this real strong cover over it, and then there's a zipper right here. Look, there's a zipper right here, so that I think that then I've got it tied off to where you can actually unzip the cover and pull it off. Now down here in the bottom, there's a zipper pouch right here that goes inside here, and I don't know what that zipper pouch is for. I don't know what that's for. Man, this thing's killer. And then up here, let's come up here and look. Here's a seat. The seat looks like it lifts up like this with these straps that hold it. And there's a bag on the back of the seat right here. And then there's a pouch right here. There's a mesh pouch right here that is connected that you can hook and unhook. Inflation valve under zipper. Okay, so, that's how you inflate the floor. Alright, the instructions said you're supposed to inflate the floor first, so let's I said a minute ago there's a zipper right here where it says that the inflation valve is under here for the floor. Well, there's also another place over here that shows this little place right here with an inflation valve. And there's a zipper right here for some reason. It just kind of goes into the bottom there. And then there should be, right here on the side, there you go. Yep. That's some kind of a special, this is not a regular Boston valve. I don't know what this is. This is some sort of a thing. I don't know, but I guess there's one on each side. Yeah, there's the other one over there on the other side. Yep, it's got a zipper here where you can unzip the cover. Man, I'm gonna love this thing. This is a beast. Oh, and on the bottom, I just noticed this. This is what somebody said that you can't. In one of the reviews, it's got a skeg going all the way down the bottom, and you'll bend it real bad from leaving it stored folded up. So I may have to leave this in the basement laying flat whenever I go to store it. So let's blow this baby up. Look, check this thing out. Nick bought this for his inner tubes and inflatables and things. It's made by Cobalt. Battery powered. Blows out this way and it inflates this way and deflates this way, and it comes with these three different nozzles here. Isn't that cool? So you inflate there and deflate there. That's so cool. I'm going to use this to inflate it. Figured out something here. Underneath this zipper, there's a place that pumps up this little section for the seat that sits on. Alright? And then in the back here, this little one back here, right here, this pumps up the entire length. There's a thing that's the full length of this thing that's blown up. Now this over here, this kind of interests me. This thing here, I'm gonna see if I can give you kind of a closer look right here. But what this thing is this thing closes off. Now, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's like a little yellow nipple on the inside, and I'm going to open it up so you can see inside. And what that does is obviously the inside of this thing seats against that when you pop it on. That's what seats it. So you pull it out, and then you blow it up. You put you put your blower in there and you blow it like this. And then you pop it closed, just like that. And then pull that out and put that in. That's how that works. I read the instructions. So it's not like a Boston valve. So as long as this thing doesn't wear out, I'm happy with it. Because it seems like it's actually simpler than a Boston valve. Yep, it worked. It worked. As I was blowing it up, I popped it in and it sealed off, so that does work. Let's take a look underneath it and see that Rio. Oh yeah. I see that's kind of bent up from being in the packaging. I may have to clamp some 2x4s or something to it to straighten it back flat. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this thing inflated overnight, and then I'm going to get it out tomorrow. We're going to carry it out to the river. Backrest seems like it adjusts easy. Man, we are going to have fun with this. Because every deer season where I go camping and bushcrafting, oh, and I hate camping in the summer. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I don't like sweating. I don't like humidity. I don't like heat. Some do, I don't. All my camping I do in the fall, spring, and winter. Now, the place that I like to go during deer season, I mean, yeah, during the fall is deer season. And there's deer hunters there, so I have to find other places to go. Me and this is going to find some wonderful bushcrafting camping type areas out past the wetlands, up creeks where people aren't going to be. So this is awesome. I don't know what that is, but we're going to find out. I love it. Best birthday ever. As you can see here, this is the heavy duty cover, and from it being folded up, it's bent this rib right here really bad. So I think what I'm going to do is overnight I'm going to put this 2x4 right here, and I'm going to clamp it up against it to try to straighten it out. And then I think I'm never going to store this thing in that bag again. The only time it'll be put in that bag is if I'm going on trips. Like if I'm going to drive down to South Georgia or up to Tennessee and I want to transport it. Other than that, I'm just going to leave it blown up or partially blown up, or I'm going to leave it laying flat underneath my gear room. So I've got it here in the truck, and I just drove probably 7 miles with it strapped in with these bungee cords, and it didn't flop around or nothing. So that's pretty good. As far as carrying it inflated, that's a good thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how it works being carried to my favorite little fishing hole here. And because I just want to kind of see how it'll go through the woods. And I've got an oar, and then I've got dry bags, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to strap the oar to it, and the dry bags I'll carry over my shoulder. So let's see how it transports. All right, so what I got right here is I have 2 dry bags, which I always carry dry bags with me whenever I'm in the canoe, and they have straps. So I'm going to carry that like a backpack, carry this over my shoulder, and then I'm going to put the canoe on top of my head and hold on to the handles. Because after all, the idea is being able I don't really want to drag it, I want to carry it through the woods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strap this paddle to the side here to try to make it to where it's going to kind of stiffen it up and it won't flop a little bit. So I'm going to put them on, hang them on, and then we're going to walk through the woods. Now it flops just a little bit, but not too bad. The oar has kind of stiffened it up a little bit. But as far as walking through the woods, it's really not that heavy. And I got these handles on each side to help balance it. And then as you can see, I got one dry bag slung on me, and then I got the other one as a backpack. So let's head on down to this little backwater here. All right, looking good to me. See this thing right here? I can press it with one arm, and that's my left arm. All right, so let's get this baby in the water. There's a few things right here in the front. Now, there's a 10-liter bag, and here's a 20-liter bag. Okay, and that is generally what I will carry with me on a trip. So let's jump that in there. Let's unzip this thing, well, unvelcro it, and throw that in. Now, the water level is pretty low right now, which is bad. It's going to be hard to launch this thing. I'm going to have to launch it through this, I don't know, I don't know if it's hydrangea or a certain type of grass, but I'm going to have to try to get through it. So, let's get my paddle out here. All right, let's adjust this seat here real quick. I'm going to move that back. Pull these straps forward. There we go. That'll work. All right, let's throw this baby in the water. All right, I got back off the shore, and I've got you strapped to, there's my leg. I got you strapped right here to my body. So whatever I look at, you'll look at. So I'm going to give you a view of it. Now I just jumped in a minute ago and paddled around. That's like paddling around a lazy boy recliner. It's actually pretty easy to get in and out of. Now you're going to get mud in it, but that's expected. So let's take a look down here and see what I'm seeing. There's the bottom of it. Alright, let's paddle a little bit. Let's push out her away. Get out through some of this grass here. I figure if you can, I'll move you up in a minute. I'll go ahead and move you up now. Alright. Once we get out in the water, you'll be able to see better. I'm having to struggle to get out here. Alright, let's see if I can see. Alright, I gotta see it. Alright. Now I want you to see the front of it to see how much it would track back and forth. And that's actually pretty good right there. Alright, there's the front of the boat. That's where you're fixing to see it. Here's me. Here's the back of the boat. Now I'm going to attempt to crawl forward in this inflatable boat and put you I'm hoping I'm getting you, and I'm hoping it's not going to flop around too much. So let's take a look. Now see, on a regular kayak, I say I'm doing circles again. You know what that's from? I bet that's from that rib on the bottom being bent. Because I'm not even paddling and I'm doing circles. Okay, but that's kind of a trade-off on an inflatable. Now, when I'm in my hard shell kayak, I can pedal on each side and the front end stays straight. Okay? This thing, the front, is going back and forth very minutely. I can live with that. This is weird. I'm sitting still and going in circles. It's got to do with that thing being bent. Alright. Oh, here's that chest rig. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. Let's head back to shore and I'll put you on the tripod and I'll go back and forth a couple of times. Alright. Look, I've already got it super muddy right there. But I'll hose it off when I get home. Now let's set up for a few shots of me paddling by. Alright, so you've seen it paddling. Alright, now I'm going to show you a bird's eye view of me getting in it and out of it. It's kind of hilarious, but it's really nothing like a hard shell kayak. Now for the getting out part. Boy, that'll make you feel young quick. Now, I jumped in absolutely as violently as I could. The first couple of times I eased in, but I wanted to jump in literally as violently as possible to see how this reacted. Now, the right side seems to be not pumped up enough. The left side is, but it still performed good. And with the cushion chamber under you, it's literally like being in a lazy boy. this thing, I love this thing. And like I said, this is going to take me to some faraway places that I've really wanted to get to in the past, but just couldn't. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of this, me and her, when the weather cools off. It's going to be great. So have fun, enjoy life. Hope you learned something. I hope maybe I've inspired you to do some of this stuff. Water is how you get to those secret faraway locations. So take care. We'll see you in the next one.